Sport, it's not just a game. It's in your DNA. Like us, you live and breathe every moment. You dissect, navigate, and analyze. At SpreadX, we bring you a world of betting where flexibility and precision are at your fingertips. With real-time analysis across all devices, wherever you are. Enjoy sports betting that's data-driven. Next level action. SpreadX. It's in our DNA.
And there's an opportunity here. Oh, how cool is that? How cool is that? From Chris Rigg. Flanagan, 25-yard, lines it up and drills it into the back of the net.
Virtue, official partner of Sunderland AFC.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to SAFC Live. We are pitch side for a 3 p.m. kickoff. It is Sunderland versus Swansea City. Let's get straight into the team news. And there's changes, Danny.
Yeah, 3 changes this afternoon for Sunderland after that 0-0 down at Carrow Road in midweek. Changes coming in, Leo Kjelder dropping out and Trey once again moving across back to that left back position. I think Alan Brown's going to drop back in at right back. Opportunity for Harrison Jones this afternoon from the start. I think he's made that one appearance from the start in the Cup against Stoke, didn't he? January time. So yeah, big opportunity for him in the middle of the park alongside Chris Rigg. And then Wilson Isidore coming back in up top and Patrick returning on the right hand side. So 3 changes. Alexic again got that start in the week. He drops back down to the bench as well. And a couple of changes for Swans as well, which we'll get onto in a minute.
Thanks very much, Danny. We'll go through the sides in a little bit more detail very soon, but we're joined by our first guests of the afternoon. Pitch side, we have Sam Delaney and Andy Dawson, podcasters on tour at the moment.
Yep.
Andy, you're here with your Sunderland top on. You're here normally in the stands, but you're on tour right now.
We're on tour. We're doing some live shows of our very silly podcast, Top Flight Time Machine, and we played Pop Rex in town last night. We're there again tonight, but it's sold out, so you can't come along to that one. But we are doing an extra bonus show tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. at Pop Rex. So it'll have a Sunday afternoon vibe, hopefully. You know, V-neck sweaters, slippers, that kind of thing. Nice cup of tea and maybe some shortbread biscuits. Who knows?
Well, that sounds exciting. It's International Fans Day. You're a Cockney. Welcome along.
Yeah, I've got my passport and papers in case anyone wants to check. I've been made to feel very, very welcome indeed, though.
Oh, well, I actually got some gifts for you. First of all, this is Danny Collins. He once was on loan at West Ham. I think it's your team.
Spell that, yeah, I did, mate. Yeah.
Who was the gaffer?
It was Sam Allardyce, funny enough.
Right, we like to
as
look
well,
after our international fans, Sam. So while you're here, we've got you a Sunderland hat.
That's a thing of
Beauty.
Yeah, it's a bucket hat, so you can take it on holiday as well. Stick it straight on. There we go. It matches my top as well. And the Sunderland Till I Die T-shirt. It's the documentary we're known for around the world.
Yeah.
We had a hard time, but we made a documentary out of it, and we've come out the other side, and it was therapy for us all.
Yeah, that's a very, very good idea. Yeah, I've written a book like that, actually, yeah. So I said, you got to make something out of the darkest times, do you know what I mean? But no, I'm appreciative of it, and you know, it's a great. The reason why a lot of neutrals do have such a soft spot for Sunderland, because it was such a popular documentary, and I keep an eye out for their result, mainly because of Andy every week. So I'm delighted to see some of these players that I've heard so much about, particularly Chris Rigg, who has been billed by Andy for several months now as the best player in the world. And I've seen him on YouTube so far, and I have to agree. So I can't wait to see him in the flesh today.
Yeah, Swansea City this afternoon, Andy. We guaranteed a place in the playoffs. How do you think things will go this afternoon?
Well, I've been interested in the way things seem to have changed a bit since the Coventry defeat before the international break. We seem to have got a lot tighter at the back since then, 3 clean sheets since then, and we've gone back to basics, and I think that might be the strategy between now and the playoffs, because if you can keep clean sheets and nick 1-0 wins, you'll go up. And it's not pretty to watch.
Do you agree with that? Did you went up under Roy Keane here as a manager?
Yeah, we were obviously different. We came up the rails, didn't we, later on? We were never sort of up in that pack at the top end of the table, so we had to come from behind and timed it well, really, whereas these lads have been there since the start of the season. This is the lowest we've been in the league, 4th. You know, we were top 2, weren't we, for the first couple of months of the season, playing some really good football. I know what Andy's saying. Yeah, listen, if you're keeping the ball out the back of your net, you're doing something right. Prime example of Burnley. Tremendous amount of clean sheets this season, but I just think from our point of view, you know, today it's a bit of a free hit. We're sort of safe in that 4th position. Swansea 14th in the table, aren't going to go up, aren't going to go down. Have a nice open game of football, you know, go at each other. Let's see a good game of football this afternoon.
I'm going to say 1-0.
What are you going to say, Sam?
3-0 to Sunderland.
Hat-trick for Chris Rigg?
Yeah, I think so. I demand to see goals. I've come a long way.
Let's hope so.
Is there any free stuff for me?
It's in the post, mate. It's in the post. It's in the post. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your afternoon here with us at Sunderland AFC. Sam, I'll be seeing you at the podcast this weekend.
Look forward to seeing the T-shirt and the
safe
bucket hat on
journeys.
at the Olympic Stadium.
We'll see you
mate.
soon. Adios. Goodbye. On to our next guest and on to the next part of the programme, where we're going to welcome in some international fans in a moment. It's because International Fans Day. We've got guests around the world joining us this afternoon from Canada, Australia, Holland, Bulgaria, USA, New Zealand, Italy and Ireland.
Good turnout.
Yeah, I mean, we're calling it International Fans Day, Danny, but we know that Sunderland fans travel from all over the place most weeks.
Yeah, no, they do, yeah, and they come up and have a chat with us, and they said, I had to catch a 6 o'clock flight this morning and getting into Newcastle at 8 a.m, and obviously it's the efforts that they go to come and watch their side, and you know, at times like that, and you're hoping at the end of the season they've got something to show for it, and hopefully the way things have panned out, then we've certainly got 2 games in the playoffs to bank on, and hopefully we can go all the way for them.
It's confirmed, that's right. Let's have a look at the opposition this afternoon for the first time. Swansea City are in town from Danny's Wales. They are, of course. You mentioned it earlier, 15th at the moment.
14th, yeah, 14th, yeah. Listen, you know, again, I always come back to it, one of my ones, isn't it, where people say nothing to play for. Well, they just won 3-0 in midweek against Plymouth. You can see Plymouth fighting for their lives at the bottom end of the table. I believe they're currently winning against Sheffield United. But they went there, they were 3-0 up at the break. So they can go and play with a bit of freedom. I think, you know, it's a mixed season. Where would you expect Swansea to be? They'd be looking to push for the playoffs, I think, worst case. But they'll come up here today, and as I was just saying there to the lads, that you expect them to come up here today and play with a bit of freedom. And you're hoping that it's an open game, and we get a few goals this afternoon.
Okay, we're joined by some more international fans here at pitch side. It's going to be a busy show. I'm trying to get everyone in if we can. So first of all, what's your names and where are you from?
Yeah, my name is Joran, and I'm from Stadskanaal. That's in the north of the Netherlands. Okay. So yeah, a little town there.
Okay, very good.
My name is Danisha, and this is my dad.
Yeah. Hello, Dad.
Dad is here.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Erik from the Netherlands also. They live on their own, so And there's my girlfriend.
I'm Nancy Underwood, and I live in the Netherlands, but I'm originally from Canada.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, how long have you supported Sunderland and why?
Well,
Gus.
you
may tell the story.
No, you tell the story. Go.
Okay,
tell the story.
I was 12 years old, went to a local sports shop, saw a nice shirt, was white, thinly red stripes, and it was Sunderland.
Yeah.
So I had no connection at that moment from the club.
Yeah.
But then I had like, whoa, it's Northeast, and so I get into this. Listening on Saturdays to the radio, BBC, crack, no sound. But I heard the final scores, and then suddenly there was TV, there was internet, so you get a little bit in there.
Yeah.
And 25 years old I went for the first time to Roker Park, raw history. So, and I brought him in.
Yeah.
You got him under your wing.
Dragged us all down. We're all
fans here, exactly. Yes.
He raised us right.
That's good. It's great to see. It's fantastic that we can have fans from all over the world come and visit us. But how often do you get to come to a game, though?
Well, I've been to QPR, the away game in London with my dad a few months ago, so that was fun. And then the game before, I think a few years ago, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Once a year, once a year we
For us a little bit more. We try to come over if we can. We make excuses to come. So I took my aunt on holidays, and we made sure that we caught a game on the way to the holiday and away back from the holiday. So we always try to make sure we can make the games as much as we can.
The good thing of Sunderland is she is not a real football fan.
Okay.
But now she's here.
Yes.
She feels part of the family. It's a family. It's a family thing.
Now you are.
Well, that's one thing about this. I'd love to thank all the supporters because they make us feel so welcome. Like we were at the fans museum last night, and there's locals there. They're so excited to get to know us, and we're so excited to get to know them. And it's amazing, the community. I've never felt this. I've lived around the world, and I've had lots of exposure with different football clubs, but this is a really unique club. Everybody loves to be part of Sunderland, and everybody, loves fans from Sunderland. So it's really great.
Well, you got the day for the weather. It's fantastic. You picked a good one. Hopefully a performance and a result to go with it. So you're still hopeful, obviously, that playoffs are there.
Yeah.
Confident for the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs
are for sure.
Yeah, but confident we're going to get all the way. Obviously, get to Wembley and get the job done.
I already booked a flight to
Wembley.
Really?
Oh, there you go then. Confidence.
Yeah, we have the flight booked. So
We need to make it there,
So guys, you really have to get there. Really, really, please.
I don't think you'll be the only people who have booked flights and accommodation to Wembley because these fans believe. Guys, we thank you so much for making the journey and for supporting Sunderland. It means a lot to everyone here at Sunderland AFC.
I just want to say thank you to Joanne and Kath and Chris Waters for all of the work that they do for International Fan Day. It's amazing. They're all volunteers. They do it on top of everything else. Yep. And to have 100 people from all around the world come here and for them to organize 3 days of events, it's absolutely amazing.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for coming down. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we win. You guys can go and enjoy yourselves now.
Nice to meet you all. See you later.
Lovely to meet you all. Take care. Fantastic. Look at that, International Fans Day. It is non-stop here on SAFC Live. We barely had time to talk about the match which is happening.
We'll get onto that one.
Well, I think what we'll do is we'll go for an ad break and then we'll come back. We'll get Rob Mason in as well, and maybe we'll reflect on the last game and talk about the game ahead of us this afternoon. Get your matchday streaming passes right now at safc.com. Welcome back, everyone, to SAFC Live. We're now joined by club historian Rob Mason. It's a lovely day for football.
Absolutely. Every day is a lovely day for football, Frankie. You should know that.
And we're going to start this section by looking back at the last game. We have to. It was Norwich. We got a point, though, and a clean sheet. Let's throw the highlights up as we discuss the game, Rob.
OK, well, point and a clean sheet at Norwich wasn't the greatest of games at all, was it? But nonetheless, if you can pick up points and clean sheets when you're not at the best, that's a good habit to get into.
And you would agree with that, Danny?
Yeah, to some extent, of course it was. Yeah, I think I've said it after the game as well. I'd like us to be a little bit more energy about us, certainly going forward. But credit to Norwich, they set up well, they keep the ball well, create some good opportunities in the first half, but a little bit powder puff in front of goal.
Yeah.
Credit to Anthony Patterson, he done what he had to, and the centre halves were excellent again.
Yeah.
But we made 4 changes. I think the lads coming into the team who had a so-called point to prove really, or had been waiting to get some game time, maybe didn't capitalise on the opportunity. Obviously Tommy remains in there, we'll get onto the team again in a moment, but I just think with 5 games to go now, building into the playoffs, we're sort of caught between a rock and a hard place in terms of results and performances. I think results, yes, you don't want to go losing games, but I want to see us playing with a little bit more freedom, and I've just said there, Swansea today sat in 14th, can't go up, can't go down. Ourselves, we're sort of sat in 4th, not really going to move from there. So go and have a nice open game of football, have a good go at each other, and that's what the fans coming here today will want to see.
Ultimately, you're right, of course, and with it being International Fans Day, particularly today, it would be lovely for all those people who've travelled from the furthest flung parts of the world to see an open and attractive game of football. But ultimately, it's about what we do. We're in the serious business of getting promoted. Yeah, it'd be brilliant to play expansively and well and win by 3 or 4 goals. And it does matter as we build up to the pre-season, but I don't want us to use too many of our goals up just at the moment. I'd like to save a few for the playoffs.
The opposition this afternoon, Swansea City, as we just watch the rest of these highlights. We might drop away from them because we all know the result from this game. Swansea City, how do you assess their?
Well, I was just going to say, people, I just said it there, where they can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
So their season's just going to tail off, really. But they just won 3-0 in midweek. They were 3-0.
Exactly.
I know, listen, you say it's Plymouth. Well, we struggled against Plymouth this season.
And it looks like Plymouth might have beat Sheffield United.
Yeah, this afternoon. So, again, you can only beat what's in front of you. But they'll come up. I'd expect them to come up here. They'll be full of confidence. They've made a couple of changes themselves. But they'll come up here and have a go. You know what you get with the Swansea side? They like to try and play so-called good football, pop it around. But our fans won't want to be in here this afternoon. 35,000 plus Sunderland fans and the international fans, as you say, coming here and seeing us pegged back into our own half for 45 minutes like we were at Norwich in the first half.
As you will know, Danny's always very much on top of the stats on these things. Swansea do like to keep the ball very high in terms of possession.
Yeah.
They're second only to Leeds in terms of how much of the ball they have. But surprisingly, they're then 22nd in the league table when it comes to touches in the opposition box. So I think they're going to knock it around a lot at the back and then maybe launch it or get it forward quickly. But we'll have to be at our best and make sure we're switched on. If they're knocking it about the back, that we are alert to a ball played through quickly. And yes, as Danny says, they're full of confidence at the moment. They're on a good run. They've generally underachieved through most of this season, Swansea City. But recently they've hit a bit of form, and with a bit of form, of course, comes a bit of confidence. So it'll be a tough game for Sunderland this afternoon, but that's good, because if we are going to be switched on for the playoffs, we need a game that's a bit of a challenge. So playing an informed, confident team, I think, can only be a help to Sunderland.
Yeah, I was going to say changes for Sunderland, but I don't know if you were going to make another point there on top of that.
No, I was just going to say, flipping that onto the Sunderland side of things. Well, what have our lads so-called got to play for this afternoon? Patrick Roberts is coming back in. We want to see Patrick.
Let's throw up the side as well while Danny's talking. So we
say Tommy played on Tuesday night down at Norwich as well. Coming back into it, there's stuff going off the pitch, obviously, with Tommy, with his move happening, but you want to see Tommy now getting a run in the team with Romain being injured. It's a big opportunity for him. He's in the spotlight. Yes, he's got his move, as I say there, but obviously Brighton are going to be having a look at Tommy. And as I say, he's been at this club since he was 7-year-old, so he'll want to sign off on a high, really, and contribute to us getting promoted as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're looking at the other places. Alan Brown, he's come back into the side. He's getting moved between full-back and centre and midfield. I think he's back in at full-back now. Trey's having to move across, so 1 or 2 not ideal. I think Job's having a rest again, which makes a little bit of sense because he's played a lot of games. If he is feeling something, by all accounts, and I think from my point of view, give him 3 or 4 games off, then try and get him back into it with a couple of games to go. And Enzo Lefebvre, I know there's chat about Enzo. Should we start him? Should we bring him? For me, I think this is what Regis is doing with him now, is what I'd be looking at. bring him in gradually. He come on. I thought he had a good impact on the game on Tuesday. Yes, we didn't score, but he got hold of the game for us and got us on the front foot, a bit of control. And then, as you say, with Enzo, for me, 3-4 games to go, then maybe you're looking at starting him and building his minutes up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's a class player.
Yeah.
He's an absolutely class player. He's above this level. And nobody knows him better at this football club than Regis Lebris. And Regis is obviously handling him carefully as he comes back from injury and will gradually phase him in. So hopefully he will be a main player for us when the playoffs come around. But one point I'd like to make about our starting lineup this afternoon is we've got 5 starters who've come through the academy. And that's a testament to the academy. Some of those obviously are very well established players. Some of them, in the case of Harrison Jones, getting his first league start this afternoon. And
that'll mean a lot to Harrison, won't it?
It'll mean a lot to Harrison. It'll mean a lot to his family. He's been at the club since he was 6. He's 20 now. It's been a long apprenticeship. You know, he's had the odd cameo coming off the bench. He's done very well when he's come off the bench, but it's very different starting a game at the Stadium of Light with 90 minutes ahead of you potentially, rather than coming on for a few minutes in the last minutes of games to see them out. But when he has come on, he's done himself no harm at all. And you know, a lot of very good judges around the football club have been telling me what a good player Harrison Jones is for a long time. So he is highly rated within the club. This is a massive opportunity for him this afternoon to keep himself in the first team picture from now to the end of the season.
Yeah, no, he is. Again, I go back a couple of years ago, I'd done a little bit with Harrison with the under-18s, and he had 1 or 2 injuries, so he was frustrated, and he'd come back out and then he'd pick up another one. Now he's obviously staying fit, he's doing well, as you say, for the 21s. Then he's training regular with the first team, and he's waiting for that opportunity. He got one in the FA Cup against Stoke, wasn't it?
He did.
But 10,000 in here that day, so obviously for him today this will feel like his proper debut, won't it, in the fact that there's going to be 35,000 plus Sunderland fans in here as well. And yeah, he sort of, you earned that right. He come on Tuesday night, didn't he? Had a little bit of an impact in it as well, trying to get involved in the game. So yeah, it's a good one for him. And just looking at that there, he's 20-year-old as well, so he's got Chris Rigg alongside him, 17 still, Chris, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then Dan's still the senior lad, just tucked in behind him, 22 is he, Dan? So
of course.
It's a young old squad in there, isn't it? But that brings legs as well.
Absolutely, yes. He's a debutant at 20, a full league debutant at 20. But yes, you know, there's several teenagers who normally play. Obviously, Job's not playing today as a teenager. Mayenda, I think, is still a teenager, and clearly Chris Rigg. So he might be the senior man alongside Chris Rigg, although Chris has got something like 60 odd appearances under his belt. But big day for Harrison, well deserved. Let's hope he makes the most of it, and let's hope when people go home this afternoon, one of the players they're talking about is, you know, another good homegrown product at the Sunderland Academy.
Yeah, it's such a good programme of possession of players coming through in that pathway, which is obviously integral to the model of which the club have been trying to establish over the last 4 or 5 years, haven't they? Going back into the game this afternoon, Rob, and the history between the two sides, is there anything significant from history?
The most significant game we ever had with Swansea was way back in the early 60s, last game of the season, when we were at Swansea on our last game of the season, and we needed to win to go up, but we needed to win by a certain score to go up on goal average. And as it happens, we drew 0-0. We drew 1-1. Brian Clough gave us the lead, and if we'd won 1-0, we would have been promoted. Sadly, Swansea got an equaliser that kept them up. A guy called Brayley Reynolds scored the equaliser for Swansea City that day. Finished 1-1. Swansea stayed in the same division. Sadly, so did Sunderland. We finished third. We finished third again a year or so later. This was when only 2 went up and there was no such thing as the playoffs. And then we had to wait for 1963-64 to come round for us to finally get promoted. Very, very near miss. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's the most important game ever between Swansea City and Sunderland, or Swansea Town as they were back in 1961.
And today is International Fans Day as well, gentlemen. I'd imagine this is, I mean, I said to Danny in the first part of the programme, it's not unusual to have people here from Australia, Finland, Germany, France, Ireland. Most games, Rob.
Yeah, of course. I never mind most games, I dare say every game. There's somebody here that's travelled a long way to get there. It's not unusual for me to meet people outside the ground as I'm coming around the ground a couple of hours before kick-off and see people taking pictures of themselves somewhere like Stoke or statue. And if I'm not in a hurry, I often go across and say hello and find out where they're from. And it's not at all rare for me to find people who have come from countries around Europe mainly, and I say, why are you here, why do you support Sunderland? And in a lot of cases it's because they've seen the Netflix series and thought, I want to come and actually see a game at Sunderland. And then of course there's a huge number of people from around the world who support Sunderland because they're either from Sunderland, they've moved away, or they are the children or even grandchildren of people who are from Sunderland and still follow Sunderland and normally watch Sunderland games on TV with yourself and Danny at whatever silly clock it is in their country. I mean, my son in Vancouver, it's when we kick off today, it'll be 7 in the morning for him, which is not too bad. But if it's 12:30 kick off, it's 4:30 in the morning. But he's still watching it, and so are lots of other people around the world, wherever they are. And it's great when you have International Fans Day that those people can come, share experiences, not just at the match, but at the various events that are put on for them over the weekend, and get to see the team they support so passionately from afar, get to see that team actually in the flesh. And let's hope they keep up their record of having good results whenever they're here. They're always very welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have another look at the Sunderland side then. We've got a little bit of time before the players run in for their final preparations ahead of today's 3 p.m. kickoff against Swansea City. Danny, just take us through the couple of changes.
Yeah, 3 changes. As mentioned, Harrison Jones coming in for his league debut from the starters, and Wilson Isidore returning top end of the pitch, and Patrick Roberts again out on that right hand side for Alexic as well. So a few changes again this afternoon. No Job involved again. But yeah, I just think from our point of view, yeah, great if we win a game, but a little bit more intensity and zip it round. Lovely afternoon as it is here at the Stadium of Light. Let's have a performance to go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to get that. Everyone's talking about the momentum going into these playoffs. I think the fans want to see a performance as well, Rob.
Of course, you always want to see a performance. Look, we've already got the momentum. We've built the momentum since the international break. 3 games, 2 wins and a draw, 3 clean sheets, including 4 points from 2 tricky away fixtures in the last few days. So there's some momentum building. We've got to keep that going now, keep getting the results, and if the performances can come with it, that's absolutely great. But we've got to peak at the right time. It's no good peaking this afternoon against Swansea City, or next Friday I think it is against Bristol City, who we might be playing in the playoffs. We've got to build up to it. Yeah, it'll be great if we can play well every game, but you know, unless you're Manchester City at their best, not now, although they've done well this afternoon, unless you're somebody absolutely brilliant, you can't be at your best every single week. We've just got to keep building, steady eddies, keep getting results, hopefully keep getting clean sheets, build up to those performances, and hopefully when we get to the playoffs, which is what all of our attention is now really on, we will be at our best. We'll be stubborn, we'll be difficult to beat as we have been in the last 3 games, and if we can have some flair, we know we've got flair, but we haven't seen much of it recently, to put on the kind of show that Danny's talking about and wanting, well, there'll be nobody happier than me. But at the moment, if you said to me, between now and the end of the season, we're not going to play particularly well, but we are going to grind out results, and that's going to include in the playoff final, well, show me the form and I'll sign it now, I'll take that.
Hey, Harrison Jones, a big debut start for him this afternoon as well. It's not the only debut in North East Sport this weekend. Certainly Mr. Danny Collins is making a debut for his cricket side tomorrow. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, he was telling me, whenever it was, a day or 2 ago when I bumped into Danny, and yeah, obviously that's the highlight of the weekend. And Danny, as you know, occasionally crops up on BBC Radio Newcastle for the performance of the weekend. Yeah. And if Danny's on Monday night, I think I might know who he's nominating, and he hasn't even played yet.
let you know I'll get on first.
Rob, thanks as ever for coming on the programme. Enjoy the game, watch yourself, because the players are running, so just stay with us for a second. Remember, you can get your matchday streaming passes right now at safc.com. We're going to get ourselves up to the gantry. Rob's going to get himself up to his nice seat as well. And we'll see you very soon here on SAFC Live.
Sport, it's not just a game. It's in your DNA. Like us, you live and breathe every moment. You dissect, navigate, and analyze. At SpreadX, we bring you a world of betting where flexibility and precision are at your fingertips. With real-time analysis across all devices, wherever you are. Enjoy sports betting that's data-driven, next-level action. SpreadX, it's in our DNA.
And there's an opportunity here. Oh,